Hello, Louisa.
Hi.
I am sitting here with a massive bandage on my face
A huge bandage.
because I look like I have an infected butthole on my nose now, basically.
I would agree with that. Even though it's rude, I would agree.
Yeah, so I had my skin cancer surgery and yeah, let's just say it didn't go as well as they thought.
Hey, but at least the cancer's gone now.
The cancer's gone.
It's a bonus. Oh,
Yeah.
Not a bonus. It's better than a bonus.
I think I'd rather have cancer right now, to be honest.
Don't say that.
No, maybe not. So if you have any weird bumps or moles or, get it fucking checked because this is bad. This is real bad.
Could be there. You're thinking it's just a mole or whatever, and then bam.
And they thought mine was infected, but nothing's coming up. So I just apparently am having some weird reaction. So it's really great.
Well, at least you got the bandage. You can
I now have a face for radio.
cover it. Hey, at least this podcast is only audio. At least we don't have to sit down and put full faces of makeup on.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here right now with wet hair and the comfiest outfit I've ever been in. You're wearing Ugg boots.
Oh, yeah.
We're very comfy. We're in lazy boy chairs.
Yeah, if you want to see how bad my face looks, you can go to Instagram for
Yeah.
Caroline Cranshaw. I think that's what it is.
At
Anyways.
At Caroline Cranshaw, at Louisa DD.
Yeah,
a
you can
plug.
just check
If
us
you want to
out.
follow us. I am today was, you know how on Facebook you have Facebook memories? Mm. So I had a Facebook memory pop up today that was probably, how old am I? 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe even, 4 to 5 years ago. And it's a photo of me outside the Christchurch police station. And I'm
What did you do?
like holding my hands up like, what up? Terrible that that's even on Facebook, for starters. But it reminded me of a time I got arrested.
Did
I'm
you?
a badass.
Oh, you're naughty.
I was thrown into the paddy wagon
Were you?
on a Saturday night. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Because there was a huge party on Riccarton Road, which is like, there's this, what was it, Riccarton Road? Famous flat in Christchurch anyway. Huge party on St. Paddy's Day, and the police came to shut it down. Me being me, got a little bit lippy outside, just like, real drunk. And then my parents are going to hate me for telling this, proceeded to go pee in the... like kind of out on the street, like probably not in the right place, and then not
in the right place in the middle of the street.
not in the middle of the street, but like in a fence, like in the open, and that's actually, I think it's illegal.
Yeah.
Peeing in public.
Yeah, urination in public.
So then
yeah.
I obviously peed, and then I like was pretty drunk. All I can remember is just like arms thrown behind my back. Those like
Did you have your pants up?
yes, I had my pants. You're like, please tell me you have your pants up. And then those those cable ties.
Oh, yeah.
My hands tied behind my back, marched across the road, like this 4-lane either way road. All my friends are like pointing and cracking up laughing because I'm like marched over being like, no.
Were you resisting arrest as well,
Yes.
Louisa?
And then thrown in the paddy wagon. I couldn't believe what was going on. It was pitch black. There was about 12 other people around me. Your arms are tied, thrown behind your back. You're just sitting there like, what the hell is going on? It was like a movie. Then you get to the police station and you're all lined up. I was wearing shorts, and they take out the tie in the shorts in case you're in the cells and you like
so
try
you
to do anything, like
don't hang yourself or kill
endanger
someone
yourself
with
with that. So then I was thrown. Oh, and then you have to hand over. Well, you can't hand over because your cable's tied, but they like pat you down if you've got your phone or anything on you. Then I was marched into a cell on my own because I was being like, let me out. Like, and then eventually they rang my mum, and poor Jill, she's going to die that I've told the story, but she turns up and is like, hi, I'm just here to get my daughter Louisa. And they're like, yeah, hang on, go go to grab me, and then they come back out without me. And Mum's like, is there an issue? And they're like, oh, she's being quite lippy. We're not gonna let her out for another hour. And I was being like, let me out, please let me out. And then finally they let me out. Mum didn't drop me back to my flat. She made me go back to our family home for the night. Fair enough. Woke up in the morning and was
Did you get a smack bottom?
I was like, oh my God. And she was like, that was unacceptable, Louisa. And the best part about the story is we didn't tell my dad.
Yeah.
And then at my 21st, the girls said it in my speeches, and they were like, hey, and by the way, Franco.
Oh, no.
Louisa got, and he, great actor Franco is, he pretended that he knew and was like, I knew all along. He did not know. That is the first time he found out that I'd been thrown.
But he wasn't
going to
look the fool that he didn't know about his
So he was like,
daughter.
I knew, girls, I knew. Yeah, and that's probably my bad dog story, the baddest thing I've ever done.
Wow.
I know. And it's not even that bad. I was peeing in public on a fence.
I have been in so many situations where everyone has gotten arrested except for me. And normally I am
That
the
would happen to
mastermind.
you because you've got BDE, big dick energy. So
that's
you can
right.
talk your way out of absolutely anything.
I am the nicest person you have ever met to a police officer.
Oh, I can imagine you just being like, hi.
Growing up, my best friend was her father was a homicide detective, and so I went to every police picnic and kissed their asses, walked around in a bikini with my tits hanging out, and was the friendliest girl ever. And so whenever I got pulled over or caught in any kind of compromising situation, I'm like, hi, remember me? I'm, Uncle Mike and blah, blah, blah. And
You're like, hi, I'm Caroline. And flick your blonde hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I never get into situations where the police are involved anymore. But yeah, that's the thing is like so many situations where if people had just behaved themselves, they wouldn't have gotten arrested and gotten into all kinds of shit. So,
but I always think that if I get pulled over, I could talk my way out of it.
Yeah.
Like I got pulled over the other day for speeding. I was going like 5 Ks over, and I was like, oh hi, put on my cute little sweet accent, and then she was like talking to me, getting my license and everything, and then just hands me this thing, and I was like, what? I was not expecting you to actually find me. We're having a good chat.
It doesn't work on women.
Nah, it needs sexist.
Needs to be got. Yeah, totally. Yeah, woman's like, shut up, hun. Here's your
she's
fucking
like, I know
ticket."
these tricks. I know everyone in the book.
It's not going to work on me.
No.
Unless she likes women. Then it might, but no.
I've never, that was the first time I've been pulled over.
Oh, really?
Stefano, my little Vitz, it's got a need for speed.
your Vitz.
My Toyota Vitz. Woohoo!
With a hamster going to the wheel, I think. Now, we've just had a bit of a freaky moment because we recorded this and the whole recording device, because we record this with like 2 mics onto something called an H4 Zoom recording, and it completely froze. And no matter what I did, we couldn't get it to stop, turn off, nothing. Like the whole thing.
And I know what it's from.
But it was still on. It's the beans.
It's the beans that you're about to talk about.
Those refried beans.
Those green pod beans with red eyes.
So, yeah, I've already told the story to Louisa, but we'll tell it again. But oh my God, it's really freaked me out. I'm just making sure.
And also,
it's still working.
There's a blanket in the corner of the room, and I swear to God, it was not here before we told the story. I don't remember seeing it there.
Okay, it was there.
The beans put it there. I can guarantee you it wasn't there.
It's going to suddenly rise up in the corner.
Yeah, it looks like a gorilla is about to jump out or something. I'm terrified.
It's a big fluffy blanket that I put on my clients. I tuck them in.
Now.
So I first heard about this years ago now. God, probably, I would say 2010 maybe. I had a client bring her son to me who was having massive anxiety at school, and he couldn't really say why. He didn't really want to talk about it, and so the mom's like, well, maybe I should go so he can talk to you in private, because he just seemed to, he just saying he didn't want to talk about it. So she goes, and I said, it doesn't matter what it is, I will believe you. It's like, it seems like you're afraid that we're not going to believe you or you're going to get in trouble, but I can't tell anyone else what you tell me. And so I reassure him. So he starts telling me that for the past few months at school, he's seen these like black outlines of a person around the playground, and they're just like a shadow almost, but like you can see them There's normally 4 or 5, and they've got these glowing red eyes. And they kind of like circle. They stand kind of like in a circle around where the kids are playing and stare at the children. And I was like, I remember just getting covered in goose pimples and being like, oh my God, what the hell is that? And so I just was kind of giving him tips. You know, I reassured him that I absolutely did believe him and that some people see things that other people don't. And we can't explain everything that's going on. But always know that things like that can't actually hurt you if it's not a solid person.
Such a tender age as well, where kids' imaginations are running wild. And if they told their friends and didn't believe them, then instantly they're like...
And that's what he said, is that he was like, oh, you know, do you see that? And other kids were like, what are you talking about? That's not even funny. So then like a month later, I get another kid who goes to another school, describe the same thing. No. And then I was really like, oh my God. And it was, I think it's like 3 boys and a girl. It was all in like the same year. And I've never had any kids since. Since then, to be honest, I put the age of the kids I work with up.
Yeah.
Like I used to work with anything from 4, and now I'm like
4-year-old.
Which, well, it was
what do they come to you for?
Oh, potty training, or a lot of kids like pull out their eyelashes, or just anything. Go to bed.
That would be hard. Trying to hypnotize a 4-year-old.
Well, when I first started out, I would just take anybody.
Yeah,
because that's how you learn.
Yeah,
and it's really frustrating to try.
I can't even sit still. I'm 24 and I can't even sit still for 10 minutes. Imagine a 4-year-old trying to sit still.
Exactly. So I don't do that anymore. And maybe that's why I haven't really heard that story since. But I don't know what the hell it is. I remember Googling it at the time and not seeing anything about it. But all these kids were suicidal. They were suicidal. One started to see them at home. When he looked in the mirror, he would see it standing behind him.
It's like a horror movie.
Yeah, and they all had the same kind of thought when they're around, that they should kill themselves. So it's like, I mean, think about how high suicide rates seem to be going through the roof. You think about how many people...
What do you do in that circumstance, like hypnotherapy-wise? Like what?
Well, I think it's well, I do stuff to kind of forget it a little bit.
Yeah.
Something called like the rewind technique, where you imagine a screen and you play back the memories, but you add in things like monkeys and cartoon characters and circus music, and you kind of scramble it up. And not so they forget it completely, but it helps like delete the fear from the memory. So, and also get them to visualize going up and just erasing them with an eraser, or that they're stronger than them, or, you know, we think about...
They can't hurt them.
Yeah, or like that scene from Harry Potter where that thing pops out of the closet.
Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah.
And they go... I don't know what thing they do, but Expecto Patronum! And
well, they make it... It comes out as your biggest fear.
The spider is wearing the hat with the dancing roller skates.
Yes. And so you make it silly. And I think that's the thing, is like that takes the power away from it. So I said that was one thing I said to all of them, is like, yeah, and that's what I'll say to kids all the time with that as well, is like, make these memories silly, or make, you know, if you see crazy stuff, it's put a baby dress on it and a dummy and make it, roller skates, whatever. So it's just really interesting. If anyone knows anything about the beans. It sounds like weird. Yeah, these red-eyed beans. Let us know, because I don't. Yeah,
email us.
Email us, WTF stories and advice. We'd love to hear about it, or if you know anything about it, because it's I
don't know if I want to know. It's scary.
I don't know. There's some weird shit out there. That's for sure.
I feel like this segment kind of feels a little bit like BBC radio. Like I need like some cheesy music being like, it's time for the book review. But no, I do love a good book.
Same.
You can't go past a good book. Like reading my Kindle in bed at night. Or if you're away on holiday, like in your lounger. Out by the pool.
Yeah, I always just read them on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
It's terrible for your eyes.
There's a Kindle app.
No, but that's terrible for your eyes.
Oh, but a Kindle's better?
Yeah, it's got some weird, not like that blue light. It's not on your Kindle, so it's good for your eyes. I'll read it before I'm going to bed for 20 minutes, and I'll go straight out to it.
Maybe that's why I'm blind.
Could be. I am reading a book at the moment. Well, don't judge me on the title, because it sounds like I'm reading a self-help book.
Yeah,
it's called The Perfect Girlfriend. I promise you it's not. It's a thriller. And basically this girl was the furthest thing from the perfect girlfriend. She is just I know I always say stage 5 clinger, but she is the epitome of it. It's a psychological thriller, and it's basically just the lengths that this girl is going to. And I'm only halfway through, so I don't know what actually happens, but she's full-blown stalking her ex. Like, he knows where the key is, like going into his house while he's away, and like she's just fucking mental, basically. And it's just, yeah. I won't tell you anymore, I'm only halfway through anyway. But great thriller. It's kind of the same vibes as, have you read Gone Girl? Or Girl on a Train?
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's the 2018 book, and it's meant to be the next kind of
Who's
one
the author?
like that. Karen Hamilton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to read. I love thrillers.
Yeah, me too. They're my fave kind of books. Gone Girl, Girl on a Train, Truth About the Harry Quebert Affair, all those ones that you just keep turning the page because you want to know the next thing.
Yeah. I've been reading the Harry Quebert Affair, and yeah, I'm halfway through, but it's an actual book, and I'm just so used to reading on my phone now.
Yeah.
Or my iPad that it's just like, I have to like turn
Do
on
you
the
like
light,
it?
and it's really good.
Oh, thank God.
It's quite long.
Yeah, it is long, but that's
Very
like,
long,
you
but
know,
yeah.
that's my book. I'm an advocate. I should get shares in the Truth
Yeah.
About the Harry Quebert Affair because I recommend it
You
so
know,
much.
the guy who wrote it is like a 30-year-old Frenchman.
What?
Yeah. I looked at
Really?
Yeah. It was originally written in French because he's French. And so it was translated from French.
Let's interview him.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak English, so we need
He
subtitles.
might now. He wrote another book, but that one didn't do as well. But yeah, if I get it on my phone, then I'll read it. That's what I
We
need
need
to
to
do.
do that. It's so good.
It is very good. So, well, I've got a book. This is one I read a while ago, but I always recommend it. And it's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I've read that.
Have you? Oh, have we talked about
It's
that book?
so good.
No, I don't think we have. Mark Manson. If you don't know Mark Manson, what you need to do is look him up and read his article, Fuck Yes or No. Because he wrote
You've
this.
told me to read that.
Have I? Yeah, he wrote this blog post like in 2013, and it's amazing. And it's kind of like about dating. Either it's a fuck yes or it's a no. And I think it's like that should be everything in life. Pretty much. It's like, fuck yeah, I want to do that, or fuck no, stay the hell away from me. I don't want to. But The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is not about not giving a fuck, but it's about choosing the fucks you give.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think people give a fuck way too much about stuff that's not important and will ultimately make you miserable. But my favorite part of the book is where he talks about values. And do you know what I'm talking about? It's like your kind of personal beliefs and how you kind of what you value and what you judge in life. And that therefore then makes it your values kind of affect your happiness in life, right? And so he talked about how a lot of people have shitty values, right? So if you value things like pleasure, right? Which pleasure is a good thing. But you think about a sex addict or a drug addict, they're valuing pleasure above all other things.
Anything else.
Or let's say being beautiful or being young is a shitty value, right? Because of course you want to look good, but you're not always going to look good. I am a living example of that at the moment. And so you can't have your complete and utter self-esteem and how you value yourself dependent on that, right? Because sometimes you're going to look fucking bad.
Yeah,
like I know,
that's life.
Yeah, when I had that really bad car accident when I was like 27, I had scars all over my face. I had a limp. I was like a Quasimodo
And
gimp.
if that was your only value, then you'd be depressed because you'd have nothing else in life.
Well, I was. Yeah, and I think I really valued looks at that point in my life. And that changed my whole perspective because I realized, because I didn't know if I was going to get them back or if I ever really was going to walk normally or, and I was a hairdresser and a makeup artist, right? So I was very kind of shallow. And not that people in that industry are, but it's kind of, for me, I was. And yeah, it's just so interesting. It's like, or success, like what is success? There's hugely successful people who don't consider themselves successful.
Yeah.
Like I had a client who didn't consider himself successful until he had $20 million in assets that he could liquid as cash. Like, yeah.
Like
he was like, I'm a
quite
loser,
successful.
blah, blah, blah. He had this thing that he had to have, that he had made this measurement for himself. So it's like, you should have, better values like integrity or honesty or, to help other people.
Things are going to get you further in life. Then.
Yeah. And you're not going to be miserable if you don't have everything that you want, because you're not always going to have everything you want. And if everything is dependent on achieving these certain things, you're going to be a miserable fuck. So, yeah, great book. I highly, highly recommend
I might
it.
actually read that tonight.
Yeah, it's good. I think, yeah. He definitely tend to waffle a little bit. Sorry, Mark. I don't think you're listening to this, but...
If you are.
If you are, hey, I'm your biggest fan. But I think that, yeah, he tells some great stories in it that are just kind of like, you're kind of, where the hell is he going with this? And then you're like, oh, that's genius. So, highly recommend it. And... here's the thing. If you're not in, a lot of people aren't into reading or are too busy. And there's this great website called Scribed, which is, God, I'm the worst speller in the world. It's SRIBED.com. So scribed.com.
And SC,
like scribe, and it's free the first month. And then after that, I think it's like $8.99 a month. And you get, there's literally every audiobook and ebook on it.
So you can just listen.
So
it's almost like a podcast.
Yeah.
Don't tell them to go there. They won't listen to us.
No, but I think a lot of people are like, I'm too busy to read that. But his audiobook's on there.
I always think they're great on road trips. I remember when I was younger, we'd always play audiobooks of like Bad Jelly the Witch and Harry Potter.
Yeah,
so good.
I think, when you're busy, I think that's why people love podcasts now, because they're busy doing other stuff and you can just listen. So those are our recommendations for the week. So how's the dating going?
I actually quite quiet at the moment. I haven't been on a date in a while. Well, okay, I lie. I went on a date last weekend.
Oh, well, at least a few days. Do they still do speed dating?
They'll do like events. I know that a burger company in Auckland does like a speed dating evening. Oh, okay. I can't imagine that though. I've never done that. Where you just go around. Yeah,
I've done speed dating. I've done it have I done it one time? I'm trying to think if I've done it more than once. No, I've only done it once. And I had a client who was single, and I was telling her that she should do it, and she's like, oh no, I don't have the confidence. And I was like, and I was single at the time, and I was like, I'll go with you. And she was like, oh no, all the guys are going to want you. And I was like, no. And I said, here, I'll tell you what, I'll tell them all I have fucking crazy jobs, and just make up shit so no one will want to go out with me. And she was like, okay. So we go along. And so with every guy, I made up a job. And I said, I was a mortician. And I was like, oh, sorry, do I smell like formaldehyde? And what else did I say? I worked for the IRD and started asking questions about their bank accounts and do they have any other, which is the IRD is the IRS in the States. I said, what else? I think I said I was a psychiatrist. I just made up the most random shit you have ever heard. And this one guy, as soon as I sit down, he was like, okay, I have a question for you. I've asked every woman. And I think I was one of the last women to
go around.
Yeah. And he was like, what would you do if you were a man for a day? And I was like, oh my easy.
God. I was about to say, why would he ask you that? I know exactly what you're about to say.
Can you get? I said I would go out and fuck as many women as I possibly could.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
I do that anyways. No, I'm just kidding. What else? What are you going to go lift some weights or something? No, I'm going to at least try to experience what it's like to be a guy for a day. And that's, the ultimate way of being a guy. And he was like, really? Yeah, he was very, so I'm like, well, what would you do? And he was like, I wouldn't want to fuck a bunch of guys, so I just play with myself all day. And I'm like, boring. Anyways, I won hottest woman of the night.
Literally, all the guys have been like, oh, that girl who's a
So every single person said yes. Even though I was asking the guy if he had unpaid taxes and was literally questioning him. I was crazy. And the mortician apologizing I was afraid I smelled like formaldehyde.
And he still said yes.
Every single guy said yes.
It's because you didn't give a fuck. So you were just being like.
I think that's what it was. So I actually ended up dating the guy who asked me that question because he was quite cute. So But he was, yeah. Anyways, I won't go into any detail
Go
about
on.
that. No.
Go on.
No, I'm not. I wasn't going to be very kind, so I'm not going to do that. He won't speak to me anymore anyway. So yeah.
Oh, one of those.
Oh yeah. Well, we dated for like a year. And
Let me guess, you broke his heart.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and he wanted to have kids, and I already had 2 kids, so I was like, oh hell to the no. Like
chance.
I have my tubes tied. Nothing's coming out of here. Like no way. And apparently he like broke his mother's vagina because his head was so big. I'm like, I'm not even kidding.
Okay, wow. Where did that come from?
So no. Anyways,
I'd quite like to do speed dating evening.
oh, it was hilarious.
But then again, do you know, sometimes if I know I've got a date and if I know that I'm not that into it, it is like a chore. You get home from work and you're like, oh, I've got to put makeup on and go see that person. Then I just have to have this awkward chat. Like, what do your parents do? Where's your hometown from? What do you do in your spare time? It's draining sometimes. This makes me sound like a brat. I'm not. If I like the person, it's good chat, fine. But those beginning few dates, they're a bit of a punish.
I think it's like, don't let them talk about anything like that.
What are you talking about then?
I don't
Having a dick for a day.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Yeah, I can't stand to be bored, and I don't do small talk. So,
What do you talk about then?
Oh, I'll just get normally I get every dirty, dark secret out of them on the first date, and the poor guy feels so fucking vulnerable, and then I'm like, bye. Here, let me give you some tips on how you can do better on your next date.
Do you know, this is actually quite funny about this. So on our radio show today, I had to, one of Sarah's friends, he had been in a relationship for about 3 years, and then now he's back in the dating game.
Oh, I saw something.
Yes.
Sarah posted something about that. I wanted to call in and go, let me give you advice.
He was saying that the dating game now is so much different to when he was back in the game, and he just doesn't have it anymore. And so they made me give him...
give him what?
Give him... No, okay, wow. Get your head out of the gutter, would you?
Sorry.
They made me give him do's and... don'ts for a first date.
Yeah.
And so my number one thing is jandals. If a man
I don't want to see your toes.
wears jandals,
thongs, we call them in the States.
I would walk out of a date. Like, I cannot stand jandals, and also loud chewers. Like, do not be chewing loud.
Or chewing with your mouth open while you're talking.
Table manners. Sometimes people hold their knives and forks weird. Like, it just like they
like when they hold them like fists.
Yeah, or like their top fingers are like lurking over. I don't know. There's just like something really like T-Rexy about them. And so I had to tell this poor guy some do's and don'ts for first dates. And I mean, he should be telling me do's and don'ts as well, because I need to know. There could be things I'm doing where guys are like, that girl, no.
Here's the thing. Here's my advice for dating. Be your fucking self. Be yourself, because yourself is going to come out.
Oh.
And...
Trust me, myself will come out.
Yourself is always out. So is mine.
I'm always crazy.
So I'm glad I'm not in the dating world anymore. But it is pretty. Oh, I used to.
Cheers
sorry. But I looked at it as like a hobby. And when people complain to me about
it's a pastime. It's a hobby dating.
I was a professional dater. Yeah, I wasn't even like, it wasn't a hobby.
Like
it
on
was
your CV.
It was a full-time job. And that's how I looked at it. Like, and I find I get so many clients that are single that are like, I'm like, well, what are you doing to meet someone? And they're like, well, I'm just waiting for Mr. Right to come along. I'm like, if you want a job, are you just going to sit at home and like hope that a job's going to come knock on your door, or you might meet your job at a party?
Find Mr. Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, that makes me sound like I'm like hunting, like stalking.
Well, I was like,
yes,
seriously,
you are crazy.
And I tagged and bagged my man. I tell you that right now. No. Poor fucker, and he's been regretting it ever since. No, I'm just kidding. It's on that happy note.
If you have any stories or things that you want to ask us, please send us an email or Facebook message, wtfstoriesandadvice@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That sounded like I had a question mark at the end because I wasn't one hundy.
Well, you're a Kiwi.
Sure.
They
It sounded like Ron
everything.
Burgundy. I'm Ron
Anne's
Burgundy. From that.
I'm from Burgundy.
That movie.
Kiwis do that though. Everything. I'm trying to think of anything that's not. It's like, it's a nice day out today.
Yeah,
like
that's me. I always go
up at the end, and that's when you
should hear my phone voice. I'm like, "Hi, it's Louisa."
I've heard you on the radio.
Terrible.
What?
Hello. I go, "Hello there, it's I'll be one moment."
I know. Why do you do that?
Because you got to be vibrant and happy.
Yeah, but have you seen the movie Office Space?
No.
Oh, you have to see that movie. It's a fucking classic. But there's this woman who's like,
Yeah, that's me.
all day long of like answering the phone.
This is how I do it. I go, "Hello there, it's I'll be one moment." And then I'll come back and I'll be like, "Hi, what was your story? Tell me really quick." And I'll be like, "Oh, I love it. Hold there for me, Janet. 2 minutes."
Dude,
That's me. Yeah,
I have heard you. And I'm like, who the fuck is that?
You're like, "That's not Louisa."
I know. Like you've been replaced with some like perky Autobot.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Well, I have to put on a high-pitched voice because my voice is as deep as a man. It sounds like I've been smoking 20 Dunhill Blues for since I was 2 when I'm not a smoker.
No, that's funny. See, I was a smoker for a long time.
Yeah, you've got quite a deep voice as well. We could literally sound like 2 men right now.
So, well, that concludes
Carl
the show.
Carl and Luke. Oh my God, okay, never do that. But yes, that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Subscribe, give us a review. Hopefully, a good review. 5 stars would be nice.
Yes, someone gave us a 1 fucking star review. Can you believe that?
Who?
I don't know.
Rude.
It's anonymous. I know.
We'll be hunting
so
you
if
down.
that's you, fuck you. I don't think they're listening though.
Oh, they're clearly not. They hate us. It's because of our
right.
deep, durry voices.
That's our deep voice.
But yeah, we'll be back. More stories, more chit chat. Tune in.
Bye.